live stream of Print Pretzels now that we got the microphone issue taken care of. Tonight we're going to be talking about current machine upgrades, what I'm working on behind the scenes, and some things that I think are coming to the U1, and some things that I know are coming to the U1 from inside sources that I have, and where I think this technology, this tool changer technology and AMS units are going to kind of work together. This is going to be a little bit of a preview of the episode that I'm working on currently for the long form video. So again, grab your drinks, grab your pretzels, and we're going to go over all of this, and some of that. But let me catch you all up on some things that have happened here in the studio this week. I want to shout out to the local community here first, Ludington Woods. I was over at that adult assisted living center, and I was bringing the joy of 3D printing to some of the folks that are over there in the assisted living center, and they absolutely had a wonderful, wonderful time. And they got some of our Hatchie pals, and they got to see Alfie, who's currently on pause right now because I ran out of filament for the color that I need. It's on its way. But they got to see what the plate cycler looked like coming off of Alfie for that. That was pretty cool. And hopefully I won't forget there's an announcement on that too that I gotta let you guys know. And then second, I went to the Michigan Maker Summit this past weekend. Shout out to them. Thank you for having me, for letting me speak there on the behalf of the Glorious Geeks and what we've been doing for the past couple of years with building this business and this channel, and what experience we can bring to new makers in this setting. So if any of you are watching from Michigan Maker Summit, thank you for having me there, and I hope I can get there again next year. I'm really excited about that. It was a great time. Got to see some cool tech out there. So thanks again for letting us come to that event. And then second, or no, technically third, we got some stuff from BIQU this week. Some of it is things that I bought because I like the things that they let us try out so much that I wanted to get 2 of them for our other machines. And then we got some other things that they sent us, and then some other things that I want to try that are relatively inexpensive to help with some pain points. And then there was something else. Oh, and finally, announcement wise, keep it on the down low, but the plate cycler is not just coming for the A1 Mini, or it isn't just for the A1 Mini anymore. We might be getting one for another unit sometime this summer. That's all I can say on that. But we're excited about that. Oh, and I did get some of the LED light boxes set up there, and I've done some tinkering and certain tools, and that Sunlu light box you see in the back there, and another one that I've designed, I designed it I tried out the little light box designer tool in Bamboo Studio. That was really cool to try out. So that's what I did this past week. Still working on the Wonder Maker printer. It's giving me a little bit of a pain in the tuchus when it comes to, it'll print single color just fine, but for some reason it's having trouble with the multicolor. There's like a layer shift on the first color. So I have to go into the settings and figure out what's going on there, or maybe it's a hardware thing, but I'm currently troubleshooting that. But Iceman74, what's going on? So welcome to the live stream. So let's start out with the 75,000. I wish it was 75,000. The 25,000 tool swaps that I've got more than that now, but that I've got on the Snapmaker U1 behind me here. 25,000 tool swaps tells you a lot about a machine, or 25,000 color changes for that matter is what it would be on a single nozzle printer. It just works. I've had 2 main issues, and they're not really issues. One, my tool head decided to not redock itself once out of 25,000 tool swaps. I think that's pretty good. I know some people out there that have the U1 have had some issues with the tool docking, and I'm hoping that support gets with them. And before anybody comes at me in the comments, this is not a cherry-picked U1. We backed this back, I want to say in October, before we really knew much about it. We were excited about it. So it's really worked out for us well in the studio here. The Snapmaker didn't know anything about us. I didn't know anything about Snapmaker other than that the U1 looked really cool. And some of our friends here on the channel, shout out to David and Iceman, about the hype on the U1. And we got into that. I wish I'd have got 2 units, and I didn't. But hey, hindsight's 2020. But anyways, 25,000 tool swaps. I've had that one issue of it didn't dock right, but as soon as I clicked resume, it redid it and it was fine. And then my other big main pain point with this machine, and 2 really, is the top cover, which we got a solution for that coming from BIQU, and then the feeding system. I'm not a big fan of. It's kind of clunky and it takes a little while, but hey, it's better than a lot of other machines. I don't have any complaints. All the waste savings is huge. I printed so much. A3, how's it going? Completely understand, A3. Be safe out there. So it's just, this machine just works. So now instead of just wondering if it works, now we get to figure out, okay, it's here, it's making waves in the market. What else is coming? And I did a video on that, sort of ish. Some things, all those things are not here yet. But the FlashForge Creator 5, pay attention. I think it's going to launch within the next week, maybe next 2 weeks. Also, update on the Atom Form printer that I've been covering, the Pallete 300. In 6 days now, it'll be launching out in, I think it's Las Vegas. And I believe the Kickstarter is going to go live then. We should get a lot more information. I've been kind of lurking in their Discord. They did let me know that 6 days, and well, everybody else in the Discord too, 6 days from now is their official launch event. So that's exciting. I can't wait. Night Drift. If I'm only doing single color prints and already in P1X ecosystem, should I just get more P1Ss for now? That's a hard question. I'm also in the P1S ecosystem a lot. Also in the A1 and A1 Mini. I'm holding off for now. I think something else is coming. I'm going to give it 6 months. 6 months. Let's see what happens. Unless another tool changer comes out, and then I'll probably... You want some pretzels too, Momo? Unless another tool changer comes out, then I'll probably get that. And A3, I'll answer your FlashForge Creator 5 question here in a second. But the U1, you're not going to regret this machine if you get it. It's such a high quality machine, and that's not hype at all, I promise. That's me using this machine for better on part of 60 days now and not really having any issues other than some bed lifting, but that's because it's not enclosed. Even with the BIQU build plate, the ambient temperature shifts is why I've had some really insignificant lifting on that, but since I've upgraded the build plate, it's been much, much better. All right. And then as far as the FlashForge Creator 5, that printer is going to be dropping here soon. I'm seeing chatter in the different channels and on different articles out there. It was supposed to drop today or tomorrow or yesterday, but they didn't. It still has 404 on the website link. I've reached out to FlashForge to see if I can get a contact in with them. I don't know if I will or not, but I definitely want to cover that unit because it would be the only other tool changer that is in this price range that's similar to the U1. It's going to have a smaller build plate. It's going to have the same build plate size as the P1Ss and your Elegoo Centauri carbons at 256 by 256 by 256, but it moves the tool heads to the right-hand side. And the next video I have coming out should cover more of that. And also what I think is coming from Bamboo. On the down low, I definitely think that they have something in the works already. I'm sure people are under NDAs and can't talk about it. It's about that time. It's that 6 month mark. I think it's going to be the P2C. Or if it's not that, it's going to be their version of a tool changer. and it's going to have AMS units in it because they just make too much money with the AMS units. And I really hope it is have an AMS unit, and I'll talk to you about that, why, later. David Walton got this error on my new U1 this week. 035220002 support is aware, and a firmware software fix is coming. Something to do with too much server communication. Oh, too much server communication. That's interesting. That means they're having that many U1s out there in the wild. Wow. That's a good bad problem to have. That's incredible. I'm sorry you're going through that problem, but that's in order to have a server communication error, that must mean that they have plenty of units out there. I think the Kickstarter had 30,000 units already, so that's awesome. It's good to see that you got your new U1 too, David. Shout out to you on that. I've been wanting to get another U1. I don't know if I will or not, just because small studio, small budget. So I really got to be picky and choosy on the big purchases, which brings me to my final announcement for the studio. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it on camera down here. So this is my old PowerStation. It's the C1000 and BP1000 battery pack that goes with it from Anker, and it's been doing great. It's still kicking. I'm not knocking it in any way. It's actually saved me many prints from power outages, especially here in the winter. And I'm unable to. Sorry, one of my AMS units is. There it goes. When the spool, I gotta put some weight in the spool there. It doesn't want to go through. Especially in the winter here, the power outages can get kind of lengthy with the wind and snow and ice. But if I have my machines on a power station, it can take that load and shift it automatically without triggering the printer's power safe mode or power recovery mode, and I don't skip a beat. However, it can only run so many units because it's one of those. It's not a small unit, but it's not a big one either. You can pick it up for like $749 or something right now from Anker because it's technically Gen 1 and the Gen 2 came out. But it can run everything you see here behind me: the A1 Mini, the Snapmaker U1, 3 P1Ss, and the A1. But I can't heat them all up at the same time. If I do that, it'll trip the internal circuit because it draws too much power at one time. So that announcement that I'm talking about is we're getting a bigger power station from Anker, non-sponsored. We purchased it ourselves at our own budget because we're coming up on peak hour season, and I'll cover this in a video too. Peak hours are no joke when you're running a 3D print farm. You have to figure out okay, for that 7 hours or however many hours it is that they really up the rates on electricity. Now, how do we offset it? So I have a couple solar panels that I'll use with the power station, and I'll probably actually use the solar panels if I'm going to dry my filament at that time. But it's important if you're getting more than 2 printers running at the same time during peak hours, it's going to start affecting your electric bill. And of course, we can help keep our electric bill a little bit lower. If you run the plates from BIQU, you can print with the lower bed temp, which is a huge energy saver. You don't have to heat that big bed surface as much. CD guy, how's everyone? Howdy, how's it going, man? Good to see you in the live stream chat here. We're talking about upgrades and stuff tonight. I just got through all the announcements. So BIQU has sent me some things. Some of it I've purchased. So they already sent me the Panda Status. I got 2 more of those because, as you can see here, I really enjoy being able to be across the studio and knowing if my print is not going or if it's just doing a color swap. That's one of the problems with the P1, all the Bamboo printers right now, is if it's doing a color swap, you don't know if it's paused or for an error or if it's just doing a color swap. So now I can look over if I'm all the way across the room and I can see where it's going. Same thing with a Panda alarm. That's really allowed if you don't program the default sound. So be aware of that. But I also like that as well because it's more of a heads-up display. And it sits a little higher up, and you can really put that anywhere in your room that you want because it does work off of Wi-Fi. Yo, Popverse is here. A3, I know. I'm going to cover that here in just a second. I'm going to allude into that because I got a big announcement from BIQU, and I want to shout out to them for this. But anyways, the status is working great. The alarm working fantastic. And then, let's see, I want to do the ones that I've purchased first. So these, I don't have a camera here. I need to get a camera mount for this thing. These are the Panda nozzle wipers for the back. I can't remember what they're exactly called right now. I've tried one out for a while on the FAR P1S, and it works great. Wait, which one is it? Yeah, it's the FAR one. No, it's the middle one here. This is one I did all the upgrades on, and it works really, really good. The other two still have some, like, when it purges the poop, it still has a little bit of stringing. This thing catches a lot more of it. So I will be upgrading those other two machines, and I got some spare silicone things for it. And then I've also been trying the Panda AMS guard on some of my other AMS units, my Gen 1s, because I've really worn them down. And I started getting error codes kicked to me, and I'm like, I really don't want to replace them. Can I get away with using these? And the answer is yes, you can, and it doesn't cause me any issues. And before I get anything in the comments about, well, they pop off. They only pop off if you don't install them correctly. You got to do it from front to back, and they'll clip in there. And I actually have a hard time getting them back off if I want to get them back off. So I went ahead and got, they're like $9 for a set of 4. So I got 2 more of those for the rest of my AMS units to fill in the gaps, because they're really getting, I got a groove worn into those things, and some of the spots I can't use because it automatically throws an error code for resistance. So that's another one I got. And then I also picked up the Panda Purge Shields. I haven't tried this yet. I want to, because I'm still getting the PETG problem every once in a while, where it sticks to the purge chute and then causes me all sorts of mayhem. So I want to try those out. And then last but not least, the ones that I purchased, and the Panda Claw. I'm getting the final P1S Panda Claw because, again, these two, I don't have an issue, but when I go to print glow filament or sometimes PETG, that extruder area can kind of gunk up a little bit. So I'm going to fix that. Those are what we purchased. Okay, so what we didn't purchase and what is sent to us for review. Night Drifter 99999, join your Discord. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm working on getting that updated. I know I'm not very active on it, but I will be getting that rolling here. I want to get that rolling in with memberships too. We did just unlock memberships tier. I'm still working on that and figuring out what memberships look like, because I don't want to change the vibe of anything on the channel. I want it to be a bonus, something else that is added on top of and not take away from anything, because the community is important to me. These are the Panda Lux LED upgrade kits for the lighting. I did my own at the top here, but I was doing some research and it really, really upgrades the interior unit. So I want to see how much more it adds to it. They sent that over to us for a review. And a couple things that I didn't expect, which was nice. They sent a Panda Touch, which is cool. I'm going to be able to check different things out. Forewarning, if you're going to use the Panda Touch, I believe you got to be in LAN mode on your machines, which is not an issue for me because they stay here in the studio and I don't have to go anywhere. So I'm going to put that on our machines. And then I got the purple plate from them, and then they sent over to me a couple more plates. So they sent me a green plate, which I'm really excited about because, hello, everything's green on this side of the house. But I'm excited to try this out. And then I'm going to try out the, I want to say this is the Frostbite plate. I don't have one of these for the 256 build size. I have all the Cryo or the Glacier. I get them confused, and that's a me thing. That's not anyone else thing, maybe. But this is cool, and I'm going to try this out because I have this on the A1 Mini and also on the Snapmaker U1, and it really has things stick to it. So I might try this out on the A1 Mini first. But I'm very excited for that. So we got those in this week. I'm going to catch up here in the comments. I got a couple more things to go over, and then I'll scroll through the comments for everyone. And then this week we got, oh, I got 3 Luxes, it looks like. Oh, wait, what is it? Yeah, these are all Panda Luxes, right? This tube looks different. Maybe this is a different thing. Panda Lux, oh, this is an RGB kit. Okay, cool. So this is an additional accessory upgrade for lighting. So with all this stuff that is connected to the machines now, you have to find a way to power them. And then that's where BIQU came in with their expansion for the ports for the system. And there's 2 of them they sent me to try. One of them is the Panda Hub Plus. Looks like it upgrades it to USB 3s. And then they sent me the Panda Branch Plus, which looks like it does 5 Type-C outputs and 5 MX3 outputs. Okay. So it's just different ways to expand the existing power that you have on the machine. So you can run these different accessories. And then they sent me the Panda Jetpack. This wasn't even on my radar yet. It looks cool, and it supposedly is better for cooling. It looks cool and is better for cooling. That was an unintentional pun. But it's open-aired environment, and it's got a cool LED inside of it that you can program, it looks like. And I'm wondering if it can't work with like a Panda Nomi too. That would be really cool. And then the back side, the Panda Jetpack so this goes on the front and this goes on the back is what they sent me. All right, let me get caught in these comments. So this is really cool. I got a lot of upgrades to do, and then I'll get into the things, that big special announcement with BIQU that I want to talk to you guys about. Let me catch up on these comments first though. Popverse is here. Yes, we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm excited to see the price of the top display. Are you able to share that? Again in a second. Top cover. Join your Discord. Yes, sorry I can't join your Discord. Don't have. Okay. CD guy. Sorry, I'm trying to speed through these. Sorry guys. I'm not trying to skip over anyone. CD guy. Yeah, I picked up the purge seal for the X1E after having trouble with nylon poops not ejecting. CD guy. Did it work for you? Please let me know in the comments if it did. Oh, and the jetpack has been absolutely wonderful on my personal P1S. All right, that's good to see. I like that. A3D, I'm excited for the top cover. Are you able to tell us the price of that yet? I have seen others use those. I finally got around to doing the hidden mount for my Panda Status, and it looks super clean now. CD guy, I am definitely, so I did not do the hidden one for this one, but these other 2, I'm going to do the hidden one because I'm really excited about that hidden aspect of it. Okay, so let me get to that pop cover, and all of that comes with that news. So BIQU, shout out to them again. Thank you for this. They are going to send me, and I can only talk about some of it now, guys. They're going to send me all of the Popverse stuff to my knowledge. It's not going to come all at once, but as it gets available, they'll send it to me to review, because they've seen our U1 content. They like what we're doing on the channel. They know that I have used their stuff for a very long time, and they really feel the vibe with the channel. So again, shout out to them. Shout out to you guys, because you're the ones watching, and you're the ones that are really like uplifting the channel here. So again, shout out to you all. Thank you for supporting us for that. This is kind of a big milestone. This is like one of the big partnerships that I haven't had up until this point. So it's a big thing. Not sponsored in any way. There's no money changing hands or anything, but they make, in my opinion, they make great products. Every product that I've used from them is not cost me any pain points whatsoever. The only drawback is that some of them can be locked out if they have a closed off ecosystem. So, which is good news for the Snapmaker, because they're supposed to be open source. And that'll get me into some deeper topics here later. The purge shield has made it so we can use the support material for our bamboo without any purge issues. That's excellent to know, because I'm about to do all 3 of my P1Ss. So And I don't really have any issue with since I did the system. I don't really have any issues with the purge except for PETG. It just likes to stick to that spot. So let's talk about the Popverse for the Snapmaker U1. I'm really excited. So a couple of things that I can share that has been put out into because I've asked BIQU. They're at TCT right now over in Asia, so they're kind of busy. I have asked them what I can and cannot share, and I'm going to err on the side of caution until I get an answer back. So the 3 things that they have stated to me, and that has also been posted by them, the pop cap is coming, the pop status is coming, and then I believe the Panda breath is coming. There's more to be announced, but that's to be announced. Those 3 in themselves solve quite a few issues. The pop cap is going to solve the openness. I am not going to lie awake at night worrying if my cats are going to jump into my printer. That's going to be nice. And that little magnetic cover that you can get into it still, chef's kiss, because that was one of my things about the one that's coming from Snapmaker, which I still have back, by the way. That'll come back sometime in November, so I'll be able to give you guys which one's better or not for versus what use cases. But anyways, that removable section, awesome. I also noticed that in some of their promotional stuff, they put the pop status up in the top of that thing, which is really cool. So the pop status, I can kind of give you a preview of that here. So it's going to be very similar, but it's going to have a little bit more of a unique, what's the word I'm looking for? Design to it, like a graphic design. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Graphics on the front. It's not just going to be the standard bar like the H2D series. It's actually got some kind of like runish look into it, and it looks really sweet. And then that Panda breath is going to be able to take this pop cap, excuse me, and it goes in the back of the printer underneath the poop chute, and it heats your chamber, which is excellent to see because that's one of the 2 toughest things. A controlled environment chamber, which you need the cover, and then you need the heat in the chamber. Panda breath has been out, mine 2 weeks before my U1 arrived, and already had the remixed BIQU brackets put in. Oh, awesome. So they already got the back brackets out. That's excellent to see. So you'll be able to combine that with the pop cap that's coming out, and they should be sending that to me very shortly. I want to say after they get back from TCT. So they'll send that over to me. That's the only thing they really have in stock right now to send me. But the other stuff, timeline-wise, it's coming very quickly. They're very excited about it. I'm very excited about it. And that collaboration is happening. And if you guys haven't noticed, some of the pain points of an AMS is this: if your spools get too light, the AMS has a hard time pulling some of them. You can get adapters that go inside of it and put some weights in it, which help with that. Anyways, A3s. Hey, I'm so sorry I have to go, but I may be back later. All right, if not, catch us on the when I upload the afterplay. Have a good night, and I hope you're safe wherever you're at. But all of that stuff that's coming from BIQU, and like I said, I can't share everything, but what I can share is called the Pop Universe. And there's already one universe out there. If you take a look at some of the things I have, I don't have it all, because there's a lot. I mean, there's the Panda everything. Pandaverse is Panda loves bamboo. I would imagine they're going to take whatever they've done with that universe and replicate it for the Snapmaker U1. Are they going to have a storage cabinet? I don't know. That would be cool if they did. But I do know that they are planning a universe around the machine, and BIQU usually only does that if it's a successful printer. And you can tell by the bamboo products they have been successful, and they build the universe around them. And now that they've announced that they're going to do the Popverse around the Snapmaker, that makes me very excited. Not as only as a content creator, but for you all who use the machine. BIQU's niche is solving pain points with machines. So no GG Discord. I do have a Discord. If you search the Glorious Geeks, you should be able to find it. I haven't really made it quite public yet, because like I said, I do want to do that with, in conjunction with memberships. Not like got to be a member to be in the Discord, but like if some of the things I'll do like behind the scenes stuff, and if you want access to that, that would be part of like a membership tier. But the content that I put out, these print and pretzels, my regular long form content, I'm not putting those behind a paywall. This is just like if you want extras, if you really want to get into a day in the life with me, that's the kind of vibe that I want to go with that. David, I just got here. Will the chamber heater work with most printers or only Bamboo Lab? So the chamber heater, if you're talking about the Pan of Breath, it works with the P1s or the P1 series, P2 series, but that has a chamber heater in it, I think. But so you shouldn't have to do that. But I don't have a P2S, so I don't know that for sure. But I know for a fact it's going to work with the Snapmaker U1. There's brackets that you print and you put it in there. And if you look at some of the promotional materials that BIQU has, they are putting them in there. So those are the two printers that I know for a fact it works with. I don't have one for another printer to try out with. Maybe when I get the one for the U1, I can try it out on other machines. That would be awesome to do, especially for like my Centauri carbons, having a Pan of Breath in there, because you're only heating that chamber with a bed. There's no chamber heater in there. The server link was in the description. I just got here. Okay, I caught up on all the comments, I think. Hin mount, Discord. Blue plastic, isn't there a perfect size bin for that people? Night Drifter, you're asking, isn't there a perfect size bin that people are using for a top? Yes, that's the IKEA. I want to say the IKEA Samala. There's that. There's also a 3D printable files that you can use with acrylic panels by Shrim that's out there. I actually have that in the studio, but for me, anything that I've got to dedicate time to is really hard for me to do, because I'm editing, I'm reviewing products, I'm selling at our fairs, I'm speaking at conventions. So if it saves time for me, I'm all about it. Especially when it comes to printers. So that Popverse or that pop cap is going to be awesome. And again, I also have the other Snapmaker original top cap still backed with Snapmaker, so they still owe me that, and I'll probably get that sometime in November, I would think. And I'll be able to compare the two for everyone. Awesome, thank you. I'll look it up. I have a Flash 485X that needs a heater. Yeah, what I would do is there's probably content on YouTube somewhere for that. If there's not, what I would especially do is I would go to BIQU's website, figure out the dimensions of the heater, and make sure that there's enough space in your machine to be able to safely put it in there without the bed hitting it or getting in the way of the tool head or anything. So, all right. So that announcement with BIQU in this Popverse. That I thought that was an ingenious naming convention too, by the way. That's not just me being nice to BIQU. Snap, crackle, pop. I mean, that was pretty clever. But there's so much coming to this machine. I want to talk to you all about something that I think is going to come to the machine eventually. And I've actually reached out to BIQU on it because they make a unit that could do this. And I've put the bug in their R&D's ear. Whether it goes anywhere or not, I don't know. That's out of my hands now. So we've all been seeing, I shouldn't say we all been seeing, but most of us have seen, and if you haven't, check it out. It's really cool. The CMYK printing with the Snapmaker U1. And what I mean that was the traditional cyan, however you want to say it, magenta, yellow, and then key, which is black, printing that can do pretty much any color of the rainbow on the Snapmaker U1. That is, I'm looking on the comments here, 58 liter Walmart bin, $7, fits perfectly with a print adapter. Awesome. So there's additional ones. So yeah, there's cheap ones too. CD guy, I'm gonna get to that as well. The Atom form. So actually, before I lead in too far on this, yes, guys. In the beginning, I'm gonna recap since the beginning of the live stream. Atom form Pallete 300. It is coming in 6 days. They're gonna do the launch, which is awesome because that's probably what I'm gonna go over on our next Print and Pretzels. We're gonna have a ton of information to talk about that. That's the printer that I have got my eyeballs peeled on for the other side of the studio for Alpha Centauri. That one doesn't have a true multicolor system yet, and that would be an ecosystem that is outside of Bamboo or Snapmaker that is really would push the market if they get it right. So I really want to cover close on that. I have put my, I think it was $50 down on that to hold my spot, and it's fully refundable. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Do your investigations on it. Atom Form has been kind of quiet, but I think it's because they're a small team and they got a big product launch coming, so they're really honed in on that. So I don't fault them for that. We'll see what happens when the launch comes and what information we get. So that touched on that, and I'll probably touch on that when I open it up for questions here on the live stream in probably about 10-15 minutes. But what I'm talking about, the CY, the full spectrum printing is what I'm going to call it. The abbreviations are hard for me sometimes. So each tool head gets a dedicated color of the C, the Y, the M, and the K. And I saw it in person when I was at Michigan Maker Summit this past weekend, and it works. It works. It'll use some tweaking, and the community will figure that out. But I saw it firsthand, and the colors transition. I saw a green being printed on a printer that didn't have a green roll of filament on it. Wild to me. It'll take some dialing in for the different filament brands and profiles and pigmentations that come in the filament rolls, but it works. It's here. It's been developed. And then we've also seen what happens when somebody takes, what was it, I think it was an Anycubic AMS type unit, an open source one, and used it with the Snapmaker U1. And now here is a preview of what I'm working on right now for the long form video. I think that if you take the tool changers and you combine them with an AMS type unit and marry them together, if you put an AMS unit for each tool head with 4 dedicated rolls of whatever C, the M, the Y, or the K for each tool head, think about the extended spectrum printing that we could do with this machine. It would be insane, the things that you could print. You probably would, and then you don't have to change out the rolls. It'd be like having your standard household paper printer with extra printer ink cartridges in it. You don't have to worry about changing it until you really truly run out of cartridges, so you run out of filament rolls. That would be mind-blowing to me. And I've put that bug in BIQU's ear with their Vivid machine because it's supposed to be open sourced. And I'm like, hey guys, if you figure this out, I think you're going to sell a lot more units. Because as of right now, Snapmaker is open sourced, and I don't think that they're planning on changing that. So that's my hey, I think this is coming. If it doesn't come, I will be surprised. If the market shifts in another direction, I will be really surprised. Because to me, that just makes sense to be able to print in any color you want with just 4 spools of filament. And then if you could have extra rolls of filament that are ready to be preloaded into that nozzle, that'd be awesome. And I know that some people will say, well, there's no filament cutter in there. There's no XYZ. Those are all things that are able to be figured out. Maybe it doesn't happen with this iteration of the machine. Maybe that gets discovered, and the next one that Snapmaker puts out, the U2 or the U2, sounds like YouTube, or maybe Bamboo does it with their next machine. I mean, it keeps the AMS units that a lot of us have in play, and it It also solves a pain point problem with the drying of filament too. A lot of these units can dry with themselves now. The AMS2 Pro, the AMS HTs, all of those can dry them with themselves now, sort of. But at least, if not, you can upgrade them like I did with our Gen 1s and the Sunlu AMS heaters. Because right now, they're sitting out in the open air, and if it takes an extended amount of time, that moisture can collect, that filament can collect moisture. Night Drifter, it just works is the only correct response. Let me catch up on some of these comments. The CMYB idea has been worked up for about a year now. Teaching Tech had a video. I did see that, David. I did see that video. I do need to also try that. See the multicolor printing for that. Full color Fork Snapmaker Orca. Atom Form has been busy at TCT as well. FYI. I hope they have. I really hope they have. CD guy. I would love to see that machine just take off and just be the machine that I envision it to be. There's a lot of unknowns, but if they're doing well at TCT, I really am proud of them. And then I sold all my printers for the Atom Form. I'm planning on buying that dual combo. Iceman, yes. If that printer comes out, I would be very hard pressed as long as we're getting word that it's functioning and it is good. Getting that dual combo, that is insane to me, in a good way. Night Drifter, I learned my lesson on the Make U1. I also agree. Kickstarters have extreme risks. A lot of us learned our lessons with the Arco 2. That was painful as well. Not as bad as the Make U1. I give Frozen props for trying. That was their first FDM printer, and their customer service was outstanding, at least on that end for me. I'm late to the party. RK2. Nah, never late to the party. The party's always going. I'm having trouble printing off a Pokeball either in a line through the top or just look good at all towards the top, even flipping it over and starting from the sides to crest. As far as that, you can try adjusting either your layer height, which would take longer to print, but also the variable layer height. Sometimes you can adjust that. It's a setting inside of Orca or Bamboo if you're trying to print on a Studio, if you're trying to print on Bamboo. It's adjusting that adapts your layer height as it goes to help smooth out the curvature. David, I just saw your comment. All right, catching up on these guys. Adapted layer height can help. You can also try and iron at the top. David is correct. CD guy, or maybe Snapmaker releases a new tool head drop in replacements with cutters. If not, maybe some other third-party BQ. CD guy, your line of thinking spot on there. If Snapmaker doesn't do it, another company that solves niche problems may do it. I fully think, as much as the community is getting into that full spectrum printing, I cannot see a future without it because of how I saw it in person. I was just like, what is happening? And then I'm like, that's like my house printer. It only does 4 colors, but it does them all. And then it's just like, okay. And I just started rabbit holing on, like, what else can happen? And that's when I reached out to BIQU and I said, hey, about your Vivid machine, if you want, here's a suggestion. This could be a big popular thing. Cheeky, I've been working on making a filament cutter to fit into the U1 extruders for it. If you can get that done, that would be awesome. RK2, no heroes, no accessories, but the A series was excluded. I wonder if that's an indication of a new printer coming to the A series. Are you talking about the accessories I have here? But on the note of the A series, pay attention come this summer. I can't say too much about it because I don't know if I'm allowed to or not. I'm not under an NDA, but if you watched our recent video on the A1 Mini and its plate ejection system by the Chitu, the same system may be coming to another printer near me. But that's as much as I can say on that one because I don't have the response back yet. But anyways, Bamboo Lab support accessories. What's the PopCap? Is that out yet? Nate, I don't know if the PopCap is out yet. I do know that they're sending me one, and I think when they get done with TCT is when that's going to get in the mail. But I don't see. I was on their website earlier today, and I have not seen it on their website yet. I did know that they were supposed to release it soon, so that's pretty exciting to see on there. There's a ton of new accessories coming for the U1. Ton of new accessories they're creating, and this is as far as I can share right now, because I don't have again another answer back yet because everybody's busy at TCT Asia. They are 100% designing the Snapverse like the Pandaverse for this machine, if you know what I mean. Well, there's a lot for these machines that have a universe. This machine is getting its own universe. And that's as much as I can say. They came out with a TPU accessories for all the printers except the A series. I also think R2K, I think Bamboo is either working on one of three things. They're either working on, I don't have any connections there at all. So this is speculation on my part. They're either working on a P2C, which has got the Vortex system shrunk down into it, which has got, I saw the P2 with my own eyes at Michigan Maker Summit. I don't have one, but there is room on either, I can't remember if it's the right or left side, for a shrunk down Vortex for nozzle swapping system. So they're either working on a P2C, X2C, whatever you want to call it. They're either working on the next A series, which to me would also make sense at this time because the entire market is cloning their A series. Creality Spark X. Then there's the Anycubic one that has the new toolhead design in it, but it still is the clone of the A1. It just does filament waste better. Doesn't eliminate it though. Anyways, so I think the timing is right for Bamboo to do something with the A series as well. I think if they're gonna do something like that, they'll probably do a tool changer with that one, and it'll be much like the Co-Print printer that I spoke about a few weeks back on this live stream and also in one of our long form videos. That is the bed slinging style printer that has multiple tool heads on that rail. Because if you just made the rail a slight bit bigger, and if you could make the tool head slightly less wide, you could fit 4 tool heads on that. Or maybe it's just like the Snapmaker where it docks them. That would be another option. There's Bamboo is working on something. I don't know what it is. They have a history of releasing things every 6 or so months. I do know, I think it was by the first layer, they're also working potentially, rumor mill, on a resin system. I guess they've been hiring a lot of resin specialists. So that's exciting to me because I can't stand resin because it's so messy. And Bamboo has a way of making the pain points of whatever printers they work on less painful. So if they can figure out the mess for that system, that would be excellent to see for us here in the maker hobby, because resin has got some high quality stuff. I have a resin printer, I just haven't used it in forever because it's just, I spend too much time cleaning up the mess. Anycubic Cobra X, that's what it is. And Jason, I saw that one as well live, and it's a great printer. It takes what something that did before and makes it better, is what I should say. And it's an improved clone, is in my opinion. I don't have one, so maybe that opinion is not fully accurate, but I would love to have one. I just don't have a huge studio budget to go out and buy one as of right now. Because if I bought every new printer, my wallet would be very, very, very holy, and not in the religious sense. Um, Jason, if I didn't buy the A1 early last year, I would have bought the Cobra X these days. Yeah, so here's that, to your point. If people are buying the Anycubic Cobra X and they're not buying the A1, that means Bamboo's got to solve that problem. Okay, Cobra X is pulling market share away from the A1, and the A1's not any cheaper anymore. What do we do to make the A1 series better? So they're getting a lot of pressure from different aspects of the makerspace. So I feel like the makerspace is really starting to close in around Bamboo since they've been so quiet. I fully expect in the next 4 to 6 months we're going to see a big announcement from Bamboo. We saw the H2C, but that's not for a person with my budget. It's not a person with a lot of people's budgets, or for a person in a lot of budgets. It's too priced too high. It's a great machine. I would love to have one, but it's just I can't justify the cost when you can get 2.5 of these or 3 of the FlashForge 5 Creator 5s when they come out, assuming they work. I don't have one, so I can't test it and tell you. But it just, if you can get multiple machines that also do colors efficiently, it just doesn't make sense. It's a lot of machine for not a lot, or a lot of money for a little bit extra machine, in my opinion. In my position, I should say. Let's catch up on some of these comments. For under $300 with an AMS, the toolhead, I couldn't resist. Yeah, under $300 with an AMS, that's a ridiculously low price point. And if I wasn't saving up for something like the Atom Form right now, and I didn't just buy a really big PowerStation from Anker, I'd probably would look into getting one of those. And shout out to Anker. They didn't give us a discount or anything. I reached out to them, but they make really good products. I have their PowerStation here for this entire wall. It's just getting to be a little bit too small to run any additional printers. I can't heat all the printers up at one time. So I needed to upgrade there, especially for peak hours. So missed all the full spectrum stuff. What is it about? Full spectrum is where, think of your home printer that's got the ink cartridges. It's got a red, or it's got a magenta, it's got a yellow, it's got a blue, and then it's got the black. And it combines all of those. If you need a different color, green or purple or that kind of thing. So that's what Snapmaker community is doing right now. Is they're taking the multicolor but single color aspects with the toolheads and really combining it and making it really neat. And I just talked about that could even be improved upon if you could dedicate an AMS to each toolhead. Then you can run extended multicolor prints, and it's like your inkjet never runs out of ink until one day you're like, oh yeah, I loaded that 30 days ago. My 4 spools are gone. And it can dry your filament at the same time. It just solves so many pain points to me. R2K, I buy Anker for most of my electronics. They just make good stuff. I've had this PowerStation since last summer, and it has saved me so many prints. When I do my long form videos, this new one coming out, I'll have the link in the description for this one. It's an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you guys anything, but it gives a little bit kickback to the channel. But what I use my PowerStation for is for protection for power outages, energy monitoring. I can see how much power is being drawn, and I offset peak hours from May to November here in Michigan. Because if you run as many printers as we do here in the studio, I got 10 now, your power bill starts to go up. So 10 printers, and a lot of heaters. Another video that once the weather cooperates here in Michigan, it was for a little while, and I wasn't able to do this, but I'm going to use this PowerStation, and I'm going to film how you can heat with the power of the sun with Sunlu AMS heaters, and use my solar panels to charge this and run the heaters off that, so I'm not running off of grid electricity. It just, if I don't have to spend money heating my filament, that would be great, because it's just more efficient. Yeah, you got to pay up the upfront cost of a solar panel and this stuff, but eventually over time, the theory is that it would pay for it, saving your filament and your prints. Let me catch up on the comments here. Anyone else getting crazy pogo pin anomaly? I have not. Hey, my Snapmaker just arrived. I'm printing the Red Dragon. Juan, congratulations on your Snapmaker. Congratulations. Again, this machine, the complaints that I have are already being solved by the community. Filament drying, top hat, BIQU is bringing that pop cap. I'll be getting one here shortly from them to cover it. And it is turning out to be such a good machine. The only regret I have at this point in time is not getting 2 of them at the Kickstarter at that very low price of like $650. It was, but at that time it was an unknown. So it was like, do I not? And at that point in time, if I could go back, I would have gotten 2. So congratulations again on that Snapmaker. Long waiting time. I live in Columbia. Yeah, I would imagine that ocean fare shipping is probably not the fastest. Join the Snapmaker Discord. I have the same username there and have a thread in the U1 channel with it fixed for it. All right, Cheeky's helping us out. That is indeed the one and only full spectrum dev at. Really? Congratulations! Or wow. Oh, so you're the one that invented the full spectrum printing. Thank you for doing that. That is awesome. I really want to get an AMS unit hooked up to each one of these tool heads from somebody and to see if we can do extended printing on that. I would love to see extended full spectrum printing with, and I sent this over to BIQU because they have the Vivid open source that just came out, but any of the open source, I saw a video on it that somebody hooked up one of the AMS units, not Bamboos, but I think it was either Crealities or Anycubics, one of the two, and they hooked it up to there and it worked. So combining that idea, I don't have the technicalities to be able to do that, but somebody eventually hopefully will do it, and then will be extended full spectrum printing, and that would be crazy. CD guy, I've noticed a lot of pogo pins from China recently being coated in some sort of grease causing issues. I don't know what grease that is, but I do know that Snapmaker does state in their maintenance that you're supposed to grease the pogo pins. Wait, no, the snap pins, not the 4 pins. Clean the pogo pins, but the snap pins are supposed to be greased. So I'm wondering if somebody accidentally greased the wrong part. Catching up on that. You got my BIQU plate with your affiliate link a couple weeks ago. I want to start selling stuff now, so I have to see how to start my business. Juan, stay tuned to the channel because art fair season is coming up here in Michigan in, what is it, mid-March? In little over 2 months, our first art fair is going to be happening, and I'll start gearing towards that content for a little bit, not fully, but I'll start showing you what I'm printing, what commercial licenses I have, how I support other makers in the studio or with the studio, with our commercial licenses that we purchase, and what we sell at art fairs. I'm a little behind in the chat, guys. Sorry. The P2S have a passive heat chamber, just a damper that close and keep the heat inside. Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm wondering if I ever do get a P2S, if I can't get the chamber heater inside of that and test that out too. Oh wait, no, I didn't discover. I just made the fork and made it accessible. Hey, if you didn't discover it, but you made it possible, that's just as good in my opinion. You're opening the door for the community to try something very innovative, and even opening that door, thank you for that. Yeah, my prints are amazing. I just keep getting pogo pin anomalies and XY homing issues, and I can definitely tell there is a resistance on the carbon rods. Hey Eric, reach out to the Snapmaker support team if you haven't already. They've been really good to me. If anything that I've reached out to them on, so their support has been really good for me, which I haven't really had too many issues. I've had one. I got a little scared when one of my prints didn't dock properly, and I'm like, "Hey, support, should I push this button?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's okay." There's a group of devs behind the Clipper AFC project, and they're doing great work to bring multiple versions of AMS support. Just be patient. Cheeky, thank you for that update. I get excited, yeah. When I see potential, and I'm going to cover that here in the video. I'm currently editing it right now. I'm about halfway through the editing process. I'm hoping to get it out Saturday or Sunday, so stay tuned for that. That's what that poll was on the channel, on the community page, if you guys want to check that out. I could split that video up into two. I'm just not sure how I want to do that yet. But I am definitely excited for the AMS on that. I've been screaming about AMS units and how much I don't like these spool holders on the side. They work, but an AMS unit or two below the machine would really solve some issues. Thank you for the kind words. Absolutely, absolutely. I want to give credit where credit is due, especially since this is our platform. If that is the case, I got to make sure I give credit where credit is due. Also, I just popped in to say hi. Back to working on FS for me. Hope to see you around on the Snapmaker Discord. Absolutely. I'll get in on the Snapmaker Discord here. I don't know why I'm not on there yet, so I'll jump on over there and make myself known. I appreciate it. I hope you are gonna have a great night and keep up the good work. The resistance might just be an X versus Y as a Corey XE. It's harder to move by hand in X. All right. So we are past the 1 hour mark in the studio's live stream tonight. So now I'm going to open it up for any questions in the chat here. If I have the knowledge, I will share it. If I don't have the knowledge, our chat family and replay family, if you're in replay, you can also post in the comments to answer these questions. That's what Print Pretzels is really about. I kind of bring you the news, and then if there's any pain points, we definitely want to keep it friendly and keep it glorious. But that's what this section is for. I call this the after stream. So we'll get into that. And I'm going to unbox some of these things here while we're chattering. Again, these products, these products from here to here were sent by BIQU, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, the other way around. These ones were purchased from the studio because I either want to test these or have these and like them already. And then these other products are either needed for all this additional stuff, or BIQU sent them over to try out as part of something I'm working on with them. Eric, the support has been fast to respond. They gave me a temporary software for the pogo pin anomaly. I just worried it might physically damage the printer, ignoring an actual problem. Well, if they gave you that solution, I would imagine that they would stand behind it. So if something does happen, they'll take care of you, I would hope. Again, I'm not affiliated. I'm affiliated with Snapmaker through their affiliate program, but I don't have any connections inside their universe yet. Cheeky says, the pogo pins are only powering the part fan. There isn't any real risk by ignoring the checks. That's all their fix is doing. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to see a little bit of behind the scenes type stuff there. So, and again, I'm gonna stand up for a second here, guys. So, some of the things that I'm testing on our current machines, I can't wait to get that pop cap. That's gonna be awesome, just to see that thing in real life and that'll be coming here in the next few weeks. They're shipping it from overseas, and they're at TCT Asia right now. So shout out to them. I've been following them on Facebook, and it's been seemingly going very well over there. Great Lakes Laser Supply. Hey, our guy from Michigan Maker Summit. Thanks again for letting us speak there. And we're covering some things that were sent to us by BIQU tonight, some announcements from BIQU. We are getting the PopCat, and we will be covering the Popverse and everything that comes with that as those products become available. We'll have them to showcase here in the studio. And again, everyone in the chat, Great Lakes Laser Supply, they are a local Michigan company here in Grand Rapids, and they hosted the Michigan Maker Summit. And shout out to Blake over there and everything that he's done there. That was an awesome convention this weekend. I think it was this weekend. Time goes by so fast. But it was an awesome experience there. If you live in the Michigan area, please attend the next one. I would highly recommend anyone that wants to learn CNC and any other like design and maker aspect machine. That's a really good place to do it. There's some filament companies there. Shout out to Polar Filaments. That's a Michigan local company that makes filament. All sorts of goodness there. So I'm gonna get some of these things unboxed here while I pay attention to the chat. I think eventually I need to get like a big screen up here so I can watch the chat. See, lasers are cool. I have a Affter laser engraver. I just don't have anywhere for it down here because I need to vent it. I could put it over here, but it would feel awkward in the bamboo side studio. I have a vent up here that I could put it to, but I just don't have. It just takes up so much room. I don't have an enclosure that fits these shelves for it. The Elegoo Affter laser enclosure would sit that far off the ledge, several inches. Eric, is PopCap lid for U1? Absolutely, 110%. Yes, it is. I'm so excited to get it. Again, BIQU is going to send that over to us after they get out of TCT Asia. I do have a rep with BIQU, and their customer service is great. So shout out to them. They sent us this stuff. This stuff is stuff that I already use that I want to put on my machines for monitoring purpose or print performance purposes to solve all their pain points. And I'll be doing kind of like a Panaverse section for like, okay, print monitoring. All right, these are the ones you want for print monitoring. And then I'll do a section, a long form video for these are the ones you want for print for performance. Like if you want to get better cooling, or if you want better reliability for your purge shoot, things like that. So I'm always filming something. Great Lakes Laser Supply, the positive feedback has been so rewarding. It has been absolutely awesome. And I'm so happy. I fully believe that next year is going to be even bigger. So I hope you're prepared for that. CD Guy 1730. My X-Tool S1 I have at home has been wonderful, and the Universal Laser Systems machine at my work has been workhorses. Did you talk to Great Lakes? Did you talk to Polar at all? I had set aside a roll for you, but I forgot to give it to you. Great Lakes, I did talk to Polar. I'm actually, they did give me a couple of rolls to try out here in the studio. I haven't got to testing that just yet, but I am going to be testing it this week because one of our commercial licenses, that artist released some new files, and the filament colors that they gave me are going to work perfectly for those. So I am going to get those tested out, and I will reach out to them and let them know. I am excited to work, especially since they're a local community filament company. So if I'll get in connection with them. Let's see here. Oh, I was talking about this stuff. So I'm going to be filming. Some of it I've already filmed. So the Panda Status I've already filmed. The Panda Alarm I filmed the content for, and the other one I have to do is the Panda Lux, so that it's kind of like the print monitoring content that I want to do, and I want to make sure that I'm presenting it. So this is the problem that we're trying to solve. How can we solve it with what things? So, and then like print performance, like for your AMS units, I've already tested these. I've got, these are the Panda AMS guards. 100% my AMS units, whew, the Gen 1s, they have seen tons and tons of glow filament in them, and those ceramic inlets have been worn right down. And I was getting a lot of code saying, hey, retraction, resistance error. And I don't want to replace those if I don't have to, because it's a little bit time consuming. I got a package of these, put them on there, and my error codes went away. I was like, oh, $9. That solved me some pretty easy issues. And then I also want to try the purge shoot thing. So those are the ones that I purchased. And this is the nozzle wiper that I've been trying. Oh, it's golden. And then this is the Panda Claw that I have on these two machines. And I haven't had any jams in them whatsoever. And since last October, so how many months that is. Let me catch up with you guys. What would you like to see from the next suite of printers? The next suite of printers. I need the next suite of printers, and Atom Form I think is trying to do this, and they may succeed. I don't know. It's a very relatively unknown. Their printer launches in 6 days, and I don't have like a secret unit in the back or anything. I promise. I'm not kidding. I don't have one. But what they're trying to solve, and what I would really like someone to try to solve, whether it's Bamboo, Snapmaker, the community through open source, ecosystem needs to be built. And when I say ecosystem, it's going to entail an AMS unit, even if it's just for drying purposes, because I can't tell you how nice it is to be able to print and dry when I have filaments that have been sitting out for months on end. During the winter, it's not so much of an issue here in Michigan because it's relatively dry. I get static electricity. That's a whole other issue. But summer, very humid, and my filament will draw in the moisture. Even PLA will just suck it right in there, and I get stringing all over. So I would like for them, whoever it is, when I say them, to fully develop the ecosystem of the printer from starting a print, and give me a dryer, something that multi-spool system. The 6-bay one from Atom Form looks really cool because I don't ever print with 6 rolls, but I could have 3 that are drying continuously that I would use a lot of, like black and white. I use a ton of black and white, and just to be able to utilize a drying feature more than just a 4-unit one would be great. But make sure that it can do efficient multicolor, the full spectrum. This is why I'm so excited for the full spectrum printing, because if the full spectrum printing fully gets embraced by the community and these companies, it could be a game changer too. And if we can incorporate AMS units with the tool changers to have that extended, and I'm going to cover this in my video that I'm going to be releasing shortly, so hopefully nobody gets it out before I do. But if they can fully do this idea of that and have an enclosed printer with an enclosed AMS with tool changers or nozzle swappers, whatever you want, that has efficient swapping. The CMYK or the full spectrum doesn't have to swap. It's already got the 4 dedicated colors that can print anything. That innovation will make it to where we don't have to have more than 4 tool heads. We don't need a Super Hydra 8 tool head changer thing. We won't need the vortex system of 7 nozzles swapping in and out. It simplifies it, but makes it greater, in my opinion. Again, I'm a very limited knowledge on the vortex system because I don't have one, but it's just what I'm seeing. I hope that answers your question. Cheeky howdy from another Michigander. Hello, I managed to snag a 3rd U1 from a Micro Center this week. Was pumped. That's awesome. You got another U1. If I wasn't trying to cover content for other printers, I probably would have grabbed another U1 by now. David, do you think 3D printing technology will be one of the big techs to help us push us forward? Someone said that they have 7 of them. I was tempted. When you mean by 3D printing technology, one of the texts that push us forward, do you mean like AI and then 3D printing and then that kind of technology innovation? And if that's your question, then absolutely, I think it is. So let's take it back a minute for a second, or yeah, back to the future type thing. So when traditional printers came out, if you were around them, they were very selectively out there because color was expensive. But as time came on, some people now have multiple printers in their house. It's actually cheaper to buy a printer than it is the ink. So a new printer versus the ink cartridges. I think that's where we're headed for 3D printers. I don't ever think filament will be cheaper than a printer, but what I think is going to be so prominent, everyone's going to have in their house, or at the very least one of every 5 houses if it's not already. And that's going to create problems for content creators like me and people who like to sell their products at art fairs because everybody's going to be doing it. So, but that leans into what I was talking about in the Michigan Maker Summit, where you're going to have to distinguish yourself. But I do fully think, to answer your question, that 3D printing is going to become even more accessible because the world has computers, they have cell phones, they have handy apps for Bamboo Studio. If 3D printing can simplify the process to where you click, print, and then play with their fidget toy, I fully suspect that it's going to change the world in a sense. If companies like Pokemon and other IP industries are going to have to make it to where if you want to print something like that, you're going to have to pay for it, because if you can print your own toy at home and one of every 5 houses has a printer that can print a toy, that's going to change the landscape of retail. I mean, there's so much potential with 3D printing. Someone had said they have 7 of the U1s. Yeah, this printer, I think it's going to be a long while before you're going to see them fully stocked on shelves to where there's multiple units to buy because there's such a popular printer. CD Guy, any interest in H2C? It's my backup plan for when the Atom Form doesn't go over well. CD Guy, I would love to get an H2C. Not even just from the content perspective, the bigger build volume, the multicolor aspect. I know the filament swap time is kind of clunky right now, but that time doesn't really matter to me as much as filament costs, because that is going to be where I'm going to save the most amount of money, because I print a lot. I have my whole garage is full of 3D print stuff. So the filament savings is going to be worth it. And then having the bigger build plate means I get to print more at one time. Yeah, a more streamlined workflow. Yes, workflow is going to be important. So, and I can speak on that from a mini print farm. I got to figure out a better moniker out of that, more Glorious Geeks moniker, but a mini print farm, if it doesn't work, it doesn't stay in my studio. Like, for instance, my Centauri, I have 3 Centauri carbons. I can't show you the other side right now because I disconnected the cameras for a second to do some renovations over there. But my Centauri carbons, one of them, the connector came off the PCB board when I was changing a hot end. But it took Elegoo a month and a half to get me a new PCB board, and or a new PCB. And I'm like, I can't, like, if my printer's not printing for a month and a half, that's a long time not to be printing things that can make me funds to do YouTube and do all these other things. So workflow is going to matter. If I have to spend time working on a printer just to keep it running, instead of just doing normal maintenance, if it's something that's, you know, a known issue, I can fix it one time and then it's okay, that's fine. But if it's a repeated problem, then I look at, that's not really for my workflow, because I have to save time. Not only for content creative purposes, selling purposes, but I want to spend time with my family too. That's important. And that's the humanity aspect of it. We can all get caught up in things in life, but time is our most important thing. I'm just hoping the government keeps their claws out of our homes. You know, I that's a long discussion. But I am in agreement with you. Privacy is important. CD guy, just imagine in a few years where instead of Lego sets, parents buy hardware kits with things like springs and screws that also includes files to print the toy or model at their own home. CD guy, I 100% in agreement. There's going to come a time to where a kid isn't going to need to go to the store to get Legos. They're going to be like, oh, Legos has got a website that I can go get their file and purchase it from them and then print my own Legos. I think that's going to be a thing that's going to happen in the future. So that's fully on its way. But it's going to be a crazy time for 3D printing in all the great ways. And yes, we see the legislation coming from the government, but let's take a step back from that for a second. Any new technology that has come out, the government struggles to catch up with legislation. When the camera came out, they didn't want cameras because of privacy issues. They didn't want, but then they finally got the legislation right and it all worked out. Everybody has cameras on their phones. It just takes time for the legislation to catch up. 9.9 chances out of 10. And if they do get it wrong, there's usually community pushback and it gets corrected. So don't panic, but be aware, be educated, and advocate. I don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll be combined with other technology. Yeah. There's no crystal ball to tell us where this is all going to go. It's just going to happen, and some of it might happen rapidly. Some of it may not. We're seeing some of that innovation right now. You can see it from over here. A1. All these are single tool heads with huge purge waste. Before those, we had things like the Neptune 2, which we had the Bowden extruder. Your extruder was not in the tool head. It was way over here, and it was trying to put force down the tube. So as this technology gets to different iterations, things get better and better and easier. Many of us in the community remember having to level our beds with a piece of paper and the flywheels underneath the bed. You don't really have to do that anymore, unless your bed is really out of whack, and but I haven't had to do that in a very long time. And I think there will be local shops that will be able to print solutions for you on the spot. I 100% agree. I would like to be one of those shops when they say, hey, a customer comes in, a guest comes in, and they say, hey, do you have XYZ? And I will say yes, or I'll say, or I can print it. Things like that. I fully think that 3D printing companies like Lego or Pokemon or Disney will release licenses for companies to print if they don't already. My biggest issue is the laws don't even seem to make sense, so random people will get caught up for no reason. David, I got to defer to like older technologies when they came out. A lot of the cameras, it didn't make sense. Computers, some of the legislation didn't make sense. It will get figured out, and if it doesn't get figured out, some people will get caught up in the crossfire, but it will get figured out, and the courts will handle that type of stuff. I fully believe in our justice court system, per se. I think we just have to be patient and remember to support each other through these kind of times. CD, yeah, like I offer on-site custom laser cut name tags for some local Boy Scout events. Yeah, things like that. I would love to be able to say to someone, hey, come to my shop, and if you want this Hachi Pal from this artist who designs the files, I just curate the collection. If you want this in a specific color, let me know, and I'll put your order on. That would be awesome to do. As an H2C owner, if the Snapmaker community figures out the AMS systems, I'll get Snapmaker for Multicolor and just keep the H2C for engineering materials. Oyo, I think it's, I'm going to try to pronounce that name, Oyo. If they figure out multicolor within AMS, it's over. It is over. That will be what everybody else clones. And I don't have a crystal ball, but if there are those of you that have a U1, I want you to take a look at two things. On the back of your machine, up here at the top, what do you see? You see a 6-pin port. What has 6-pin ports? You also see in the back of the unit a 4-pin port. What also has 4-pin ports? AMS units. It's possible. I don't have the smarts to do it, but it is possible. If you had an open sourced AMS unit and you could plug it into the open source printer, there's got to be a way to make them talk. I just don't have the smarts for it, or the time. Time is the big aspect of that one. Plus, sell common parts. It's a pain when a printer goes down and it takes days for a simple part. I 110% agree. That's why I have an extra tool head for this printer. I just don't have the one tool head that's different than the others. One of these things is not like the others. I got the one that's swappable for the 3 of them. I got it as part of the Kickstarter. But that does go back to my point with the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. That PCB wasn't available to order on the website, and I had to contact support. And it took me forever to get there, and it doesn't help me when it's a big issue and there's no parts available, just like you said. It's lost time and product. The 6-pin is likely for the filter and the top cover, but I absolutely think the 4-pin will be used for an AMS system. I think it's going to be in conjunction. I think that much like with the AMS units, that 6-pin port kind of conjunctions off of it, but you could be right. It could be for the heater and vent fan that go out there, which it just means that Snapmaker really thought about this product before they released it on what the accessories that they wanted. I fully think that they got so busy with this they couldn't make the top cover, and I don't blame them. They're gonna make a lot more money on releasing these units versus just selling an extra cover. They left companies like BIQU to do that for them, or not necessarily for them, but as an aftermarket accessory. Great Lakes Laser Supply. I don't have a dryer. What do you recommend? Well, do you want something now? Do you want something in 4 months? So as far as dryers go, I will definitely recommend Sunlu's products. I love Sunlu. I don't have one of their dryers. I have their AMS heater, but I would love to have one of their 4-bay dryers. However, with that being said, they just released a teaser page on their Facebook of what I think is, I have a Sunlu contact, but he was very vague on what it was going to be. He said it's a surprise. I can't tell you. I was like, okay. But I think from the reveal photos, that is going to be it's either going to be a 2-tier or 3-tier filament dryer. And I think there's going to be either 5 or maybe even 6 rolls of filament on each tier. And it's going to be a big unit dryer. If I'm wrong, I'm going to have to redesign my studio. Or if I'm right, I'm going to have to redesign my studio because I'm going to want several of those because I've got about 60 rolls of filament that are just sitting over there that need to be dried and stored. And that's another thing I have to figure out is storage after it dries. So I would definitely, because Sunlu makes all the filament, they make great dryers, and most of their 4-bay dryer, I think it's the SP4. You can actually, they have ports on it that if you want to use the Snapmaker U1, you can still feed it out through the dryer and you don't have to mess it up. Smithworks +1 on Sunlu. Absolutely. I need to get some of those affiliate codes in these things. But if you guys do buy Sunlu filament, you can use code BGlorious and you'll get a 3% discount on your filament, and a portion goes back to the channel here. But that's what we're doing here. S4, you're right. Oyo, S4. The Sunlu S4 is the bigger format dryer, which is great because I believe that there's 4 ports on there's 2 ports on each end that the filament can go out and you can print while you're technically drying. CD guy, I love my IBOS easy dry for TPU, and as you can set the temp, and it doesn't have a timer, so it just heats the entire print. That's awesome. I also have the IBOS heater. I think it's how you pronounce their name, and it works great. I have a bittersweet relationship with that one though, just because I print so much and I have to do so much maintenance on my AMS units. I gotta disassemble the interior components of that, but I also like the fact that I can heat individual bays on that. So if you don't print as frequently as I do, that would be a great unit for you to get, because you can dry, if you wanted to have PETG in one slot and you wanted PLA in another slot, you can do that because they have it to where you can dedicate it for it. You could dry it on your heat bed too. Just don't, if it's PLA, I wouldn't dry it anything higher than 50 degrees because then you can get some sagging on your spool. Not exactly the most efficient way, but you can do that. 3D print, 3D print. 3D Print SOS has a video on his channel where he shows how to connect an Anycubic Ace Pro to the U1. That is actually the video I was trying to reference earlier, and I couldn't remember what AMS unit that they were using. It's the Ace Pro because it's mostly open format, and they did it. I hope that this idea gets traction, and I can put 4 AMS units down underneath here. So that's, do not try the oven method. I would not recommend you drying your filament in an oven. That would not be, plus I wouldn't want to use my oven after that. But it's definitely, there's so much good things that have happened even in the last 6 months since the Snapmaker has come out with the U1. It is really pushing the market, and people are really taking to the machine even more than I could have imagined. If you said that 6 months ago that someone would have taken the 4 tool heads and being able to print any color in the rainbow on that with that design, I'd have been like, no way. And here we are, it's happening. It is incredible to see that kind of stuff happening. And shout out to those innovators that are doing that. Well, good morning. The box your filament came in. Okay. Well, buddy, you want some pretzels? I don't know if you like this one. You want to try one? There you go. Let me set you down here, buddy. Even Snapmaker's previous machines were rather impressive for the capability. Yeah, I've gone back through and looked at their websites, and the artisans and stuff like that really seemed to like that they could do the laser engraving and stuff like that with that. So I think when Bamboo came out with the H series, they took a play out of that playbook, and I'm not sold on having a laser engraver with the machine yet. The CNC part maybe, but a laser engraver, it just puts out so much debris. And if you go from laser engraving to printing and then back to, or vice versa, printing to laser engraving and then printing again, you're gonna have to do maintenance on your machine. So for me, I don't do any laser engraving. I have one, and I would see having 2 units versus it in a combo. David, I want to buy printer. Would you buy a Snapmaker or wait to see what comes out later? That's a hard question. It depends on what your workflow is, and what your needs are. And this is what happens when your AMS unit can't push your filament roll because it's too light. There it goes. It's a really hard question to answer because my needs are different than your needs, and if you're ready to print today, I would totally get the Snapmaker. Wouldn't wait. I think it's for what you're getting for the printer. If you wait any longer, it's going to get up to that $9.99 price, and I mean it's still well worth it. But um, what's going to come out next is it's hard. That's where the crystal ball comes in. Do I think Bamboo's working on something 110%? I do. Uh, but we could be waiting 6 months. And how many things could you print in 6 months? That's the question. Like, or do you want to wait? And are you okay with not printing things for 6 months? And there might be something else coming out in 6 months that might make you want to wait again 6 months. So it's more about, are you ready to print now? And if you're ready to print now, Snapmakers are where it's at. Bamboo, I have nothing against them. I love their products, but they don't have that price point. They don't have that $1,000 multicolor filament purge problem solved for that price point. Snapmaker has. And FlashForge, when it comes out, whenever it comes out, FlashForge 5 Creator 5 Pro and the Creator 5, theoretically, that's supposed to solve that too. And it'll be a cheaper version of the Snapmaker U1 with a smaller bed size, 4 tool head still. But if you take the mindset of wait for just printing purposes, you could be waiting forever. For me, that answer is a little bit different. For me, since I cover printers, I have to be conscientious of budget. I can't just hop on the next train until companies, if they ever start sending me printers, then that changes a little bit. Then I can cover more. But as of right now, conscientious of budget, so I have to wait and see what is going to emerge and is going to be a workflow appropriate type thing. I got to balance a few things with that kind of stuff. Let me catch up in the comments here. David, hoping to build a business. 100%. Follow the channel then. So that's part of the aspect that I'm going to do with this channel is I am building a business outside of this. I just spoke at the Michigan Maker Summit. So shout out to them. And I spoke about that as when you build a business, it's more than just I own a printer and I want to make money with my prints. A lot of people want to do that right now. So you have to distinguish yourself from the field, the noise. So you got to start thinking of like, okay, I can print these 3D things, but how am I going to offer an experience with my business, whether it's selling at our fairs or whether it's selling at a shop, or just retail sale or online selling, which is even harder because it's even a more crowded field there. But I am going to start covering some of that content, especially as art fair season starts to get here. I do already have 4 printers, so I'm not lacking. Oh, okay. So you're kind of in a similar space to me. Okay, so I have printers, they're producing. Do I wait to get something that's workflow friendly? And that's what I would say is I haven't got a new printer that wasn't sent to me. I got the Wonder Maker sent to me to review, and I'm currently going through that. But outside of that, I haven't gotten a new printer since the U1, and I probably won't until something comes along that changes the workflow question mark. I might get another U1 if that AMS system develops for CMYK printing, the full spectrum printing. If that develops, this goes because that workflow changes. Because purgeless printing, I don't need 50,000 spools of filament for different colors. I just need 4. that is game changing. That would change my workflow completely. So that's when I would shift. I would say, okay, this is the most efficient, time less consuming way of printing, so I can offer full color. But in order for that to happen, like X, Y, and Z have to line up. So I have to wait on that. Until now, or until then, this is still the most efficient way for me to do, outside of anything that really requires 4 colors and a lot of swaps. This is where it's at for me. Atom form price tag and risk will not compensate for the Snapmaker that is provided, and the atom form would be shipped by June. Snapmaker intro price ends this month. Yes, that's the risk. It'll be shipped by June. Okay, so I'm gonna skim these comments real quick. I believe I saw an earlier ship date during Atom Form's live stream at TCT last night. I would like to see a bigger build volume Snapmaker somewhere in the 300 plus range. Craig ordered that plus another tool head or two. Snapmaker U1 owner is definitely a disruptor. Wouldn't that also cut down on filament waste too? Also joining on the stream. Elena, have you messed with the full spectrum build for Orca? Unique Life, I have not, but I need to, because I have a theory on where that is going. Let me talk about atom form, and then I'll jump over to that full spectrum printing theory. Okay, atom form, potential disruptor, potential, heavy caveat. Not a whole lot of news on them. They've been kind of quiet. I think they're a small team, and they're really, really fine-tuning their product. They are at TCT Asia. I heard they're doing well. I've been watching them. I've covered some of their stuff. They figured out what Bamboo hasn't done with the H2C yet, with the filaments already there waiting when it retracts it. So it saves that retraction time as much as it possibly can. 12 nozzles instead of 7 in a rotating thing. Okay, got it. All right, AMS unit, not just 4, 6 units can heat. That's an ecosystem. That's a product. That's a product I would like to see work and know it is working. I put my $50 down, not saying you should. I mean, for me, that $50 was okay. It's fully refundable for me to say, okay, I have a spot. Now prove to me that this works. Same thing I did with the Snapmaker. I reserved my, actually, I waited to the last minute to reserve my spot because nobody had really covered it enough for me to be comfortable with actually doing it. And then I saw enough at the last 4 days. I think the next layer released a video of the factory making some of the models. So I was like, okay, they're producing, I'll back it. It makes sense. And I'm glad I did. I regret not getting 2 of them for that low price of 6 something it would have been for 2 units. But anyways, that's the catch with Kickstarter. There's risks. You could get a Eufy make printer that never exists. I don't think that's going to happen with Atom Form. We see some of the stuff at TCT Asia that they're out there doing now. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And again, we'll know a lot. Hopefully, I'll know a lot more in 6 days when their product releases and the Kickstarter goes live. I believe is when it does that. But that's the Atom Form. I would fully suspect that if that product works, I could see that in my studio, our studio, on the other side and the Alpha Centauri side, much like the Bamboo setups that I can do. I click in an Orca slicer and it goes. And it solves all my ecosystem problems. Drying, printing, purge, all 3 of those solved. At least up to 12 colors. That's a lot of colors. So I just said that, and now we're going to go over to catch up on the U1. All right, so the CMY color printing, basically magenta, yellow, and cayenne, and black. 4 of those makes any color in the rainbow. Got it. That's being done. All right. So that's going to get ironed out. What is the next step after that? 4 AMS units, 1 for each tool head, 1 for each color. You got cayenne, magenta, yellow, and black. That would be perfect. You could do extended multicolor prints that are in any spectrum of the rainbow, and it just makes sense to do that. Somebody's already working on an AMS unit. I saw it the other day. keep forgetting which one it was, but they're working on it. It already works. They have it. It's open sourced. It's done. Combine the two and make it great. I don't have the smarts to do it. I think it can be done, and I'm 100% sure it's going to be done at some point. The community is rapidly evolving around this printer. It is disrupting markets, and other markets, including Bamboo and every other player in the 3D printing industry, are catching up. You see now multicolor printing is possible with 4 tool heads in any color without purge. Everybody else is going to figure it out too. I hope that catches you up on that question. Oh, the atom form is the rotating thingy. I would really like to see how that works and if that works. R2K, I am 100%. I would love to. I hope I get a review unit. I reached out to them, but they're so busy with TCT, I don't know. Let's see. I'm really hoping someone like the Next Layer or some other large creator covers the atom form so it can get into mainstream media. CD Guy, I really hope so too. I hope that they reach out to a large format creator and they say, hey, here's a unit, try it out, and it just blows up. I think that unit deserves that, whether it functions or not. I think that it would illuminate a lot on that. So I'm in agreement there. I only need 2 nozzles really for combining materials or for support material. I'll ask Taylor, who runs YGK3D, if he's getting the atom form. And CD Guy, that's why I'm also looking at H2. Yep. So right now, and I think in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to be in that transition period where innovation is moving so fast that 6 months ago, full spectrum printing wasn't a thing. Someone saw potential, someone developed the potential, and here it is, it's here. It still has to be ironed out from what I've seen, but it's here. And I think, and then that video that I'm currently editing is gonna break it down even further than what I can do on a live stream. But it just, the vision for it makes sense. Think of your home printer. If you didn't have to change an ink cartridge on it, but once every 3 months, depending on how much you print. I print a lot, so it's like once every month I change an ink cartridge. If I didn't have to do that for 3 months, of course I would do that. It would just make business sense. And the CMYK printing, it solves that video problem, or not video problem, but filament problem that I was just talking about for these companies that make filament with all these different color strands. If they can do what RFID does, and it says, okay, this is the formula, this is the color. If they can do that for color formula, and you can put that in a slicer for just 4 colors for CMYK, then companies like Sunlu won't have to make a full spectrum range of colors. Then they only have to make 4 colors. That would change the game entirely. That would solve the, what did I call it? The pigment something or other, the pigment problem of not being able to order your filament colors because they're out, because companies make them in dedicated runs and they switch to the next color, unless it's black and white, which is always being made. Oh yeah, FlashForge is releasing their multi-tool head. Yep. So FlashForge, they are releasing the Creator 5 and the Creator 5 Pro. I've reached out to them. I've got crickets. I'm still a small channel. Someday I'll grow up. But they're releasing the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro. From what I've seen of this machine, which has been wiki leaks and other content leaks, it's going to be much like the Snapmaker U1, but different. It's got a different locking mechanism, and I'll cover this in the next video that I'm doing. Different locking mechanism, and it's got a tool head system, similar, but it's on the right-hand side, and all the filaments loaded on the right-hand side, much like their AD5X unit. I think they took what the AD5X does and just, okay, how do we do the tool head on this frame? And it's going to be the 256 by 256 by 256 bed size, like that, kind of standard across the industry, but it's going to be at that $656 price point if you get in like as soon as it launches. You hold your $10, I think it's $10 spot for the machine as it launches. So lower price point than Flash or Snapmaker, but also smaller build size. But it's the next tool changer to get here, I think, unless this company, Bamboo, does a stealth drop on us. I 110% think they're developing something. I just don't know what it is. R2K, I'm not going to get into that, buddy. That has been well covered by other content creators. But yes, there has been controversy into print monitoring from companies. And I fully suspect they regret that statement, but I don't know. I'm not them. But I won't get too much into that. That's not really my lane. I'll cover the legislation part of that kind of stuff, but I try to keep lanes clear as far as speculation on things. Will I get the unit? Probably. Yeah, but it would be for review purposes for this. I fully suspect it would be a very good competitor to this for the price point, as long as the machine comes out functioning. It's a really tough time for me right now because all these innovations are happening. You got the Atom Form, which is like $1,200, and you have the Flash, which is like $600. It's like, oh my goodness, there's so many things that like. If you're a standard hobbyist right now, I can't imagine like, oh, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. What do I get? Right now, I've been telling people, if you're just getting into this hobby, it's okay to still get a single tool head printer for multicolor. It's okay to learn that and how it works, especially if you get the cheaper one, like the sub $200 range, to learn how a printer works before you get into technically four print heads, which you'd have to work on potentially, to learn first. And for the standard hobbyist, it might meet all their needs. An A1 or an A1 Mini might meet all their needs, but if you got to do bigger prints or you want to grow with your printer, that'd be a different printer. Night Drifter, I'm getting another P1S, and that's a great printer. I have 3 of them. They haven't shut off in months. Like I'm constantly printing on them. I'm still printing multicolor on them because there are things that they do that the Snapmaker can't currently do, which I'm hoping will be solved by the pop cap. I can't currently print in small contact area surfaces with the Snapmaker U1 because it's got that ambient airflow that goes into it, which it's very rare, but I was printing one of those tap wands for someone, and careful, Momo. The star points just barely contacted the build surface, and because of the ambient air temperature that was going into the machine, the PETG lifted off of the build plate, even with the BIQU plate and additional adhesive, just because, I mean, it was probably less than a 2 millimeters contact plate, which is crazy to me. So that, I wound up printing off a different wand, which was much more contact friendly, and it was fine. But it was a cool thing to discover. Nothing against the BIQU plates, I love those. It was a very, very super niche thing. So I just wound up finding another way to print it. Helix, I said on the Atom Form Discord server, I will never allow a Bamboo lab printer in my business. I understand. Everybody's got their own needs. I can't really speak on that because I don't have the same needs as someone else. Adam Form did mention all their AI features will be local and not require cloud outside network access. That would be great, CD Guy. I'm glad they said that, because if they didn't, that would be kind of hard. Like if you lived out in the boondocks and there was no internet access, that would be very difficult. So their AI is inward facing, is what I would say. Okay, caught up on all the comments, I think. CD, I think Bamboo is definitely working on a direct competitor to the Snapmaker, as the H2C was just too slow and it doesn't offer all the benefits of a tool changer like TPU and other multi-materials. I agree on those points and also other points. That the biggest thing is the market share of that price point for the Snapmaker U1. They're taking a large market share away from the price points. Let me say it this way. Currently, the P2S is like $800 something for the AMS unit and the machine, which just gives you 4 colors. The Snapmaker U1, 4 colors, $800, maybe $1,000 here in a little bit. That's the price point. Which machine am I going to buy? Full spectrum printing. P2S, not so much. So they're definitely working on something behind the scenes. I fully suspect it. So I think in the next, man, I can't imagine us getting to June and not having an answer from them. I think they're probably testing stuff right now. They just don't want to release it if it's not fully functional, just like all their other machines were very, very functional when they came out. They're really good about the R&D department. David, how do you sign up for the Qi pre-order? I don't know. That's a printer I don't really have any experience with. I'd love to. I've seen other content creators out there reviewing the Qi machines. If only Qi made a dual nozzle, I'm sure these other printer companies, they're not just going to sit there and be like, yeah, our machines will keep selling even though the Snapmaker U1 is out and the tool changes are. No, they're gonna have to shift too. How long it takes them to shift will tell the story, but I don't think it'll be long at all if they're not already doing it. H2D is a lot to throw down, especially since I'm not making steady income from printing. I'm the same way. I don't think any justification needs to be had there. It's a high price point. It's and the H2C even more so. And that's what I'm speaking to on that, the price point and what they have to be developing, because that's for the H2D and H2C are more for the prosumer or need it for their business, or, and I don't mean just 3D printing business. I mean like they have a legitimate business designing something, or they print replica props for whatever they sell. That's the kind of business I can envision for that. But if you have a standard 3D printer hobbyist, that even especially if you're just starting out, $1,700 to $2,300 is a very, very large investment for one machine, when you can get other ones that, yeah, they have purge waste at a much lower price. So question was, Chidi is working on an IDEX system, or so I'm told. I imagine, Helix, that they're probably working on something. Everyone's gonna have something in development. This is a very large splash, and not the ocean, but a swimming pool. Because 3D printing is a very as big as it is, it's still a very enclosed community. And if something like this emerges, it makes waves. The question was, can you reassign slots 1 to 4 different colors after adding a pause while slicing and reassigning new colors so you can have 8 or more colors in the U1? DG, I'm guessing that the full spectrum printing does that. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it yet. I just got to see it firsthand at Michigan Maker Summit on the Snapmaker U1, and it was really cool. So I have to research that, but I know it works. I've seen it firsthand, and it just blew my mind, the possibilities of what could happen in the industry. Even just ordering filament, you don't have to order 50,000 colors like this. I could have a rack of 4 colors up there. Despite the issues, and if you know your way around a printer, Cheaty makes printers for the prosumer who needs heated chamber printing for the price they're okay. People have supposedly done the color change with at least 2 colors during a pause. I imagine so. I imagine there's so much innovation with the Snapmaker U1 going on right now. Like, I would have never imagined all this tinkering and innovation coming to this machine when I first backed the Kickstarter. The questions were, is it going to work? Now it's not, is it going to work? Is what comes next? So just to recap the live stream, we talked about some announcements here in the studio that we're working with BIQU to fully cover the Snapverse products as they come out. The first one that'll be coming to us is the Pop Cap. We'll get that unboxed and then put on the machine and reviewed and to see how that's going to work. But if you have any questions on the Popverse, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, The Glorious Geeks on Facebook, and I can answer as much as I can on what that's like. And I'm going to do additional content on that in the next long form video that I have coming out. So I'm in the editing process of that. And then I'm also going to get some of these upgrades put on these machines so you can see that the quality of things that BIQU puts out, they really hone in on the niche problems that are for these successful printers and then create a universe around them for better experiences for makers like you and I. I've been using BIQU stuff for a very long, and Big Tree Tech stuff for a very long time. I've been using their blue build plates since the start of the channel. David Walton, what did you do with your massive frozen enclosure? It's still sitting right over there, just off camera. Oh, sneak peek for you guys. The studio may be moving. We might be getting an upgrade. So that's in the works. We've listed the studio's location for a realtor to sell. So we're looking for upgrade. We need more room. Our family is growing. And that's an exciting price point. An exciting point in our lives. So stay tuned on that. I'm super excited about that. And then you'll get to see some of that behind the scenes footage and stuff too. Like, hey guys, we selected this location today, and if and when that comes to happen. But it's got to be the right fit for us to do that. So we're gonna slowly work through that. But yeah, that massive frozen enclosure is over there. And I still want to do that glow zone printing area inside of that. I actually have big UV bars. It's funny. I'm going to do the opposite of what it's built for. It's built for filtering out UV light, and I want to put UV light in it. But it's a really cool enclosure. I'm still testing the frozen air purifier max. It's working great over there. I've actually used it to filter out some fumes on things that I worked in other areas of the house and studio. So it works really good. So I'm really proud of that machine. And I realized that it sounded like an airplane on the 3rd highest setting because I forgot to take some plastic off the machine. It was kind of funny. But I want to thank everybody for joining Print Pretzels live stream tonight. I hope to have more of this information for you for the Atom Form as I do a deep dive this week as I watch that live unveiling of the machine and the product release. It happens in 6 days, so that should be right before the next Print and Pretzels. So I'll be taking lots of notes, and the next Print and Pretzels will be probably a little more scattered. I'll try to get the notes organized for all that, but I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of information we don't know yet on that machine. And then that next video that I'm gonna be done should be done by then, and you'll get to watch that. I'm really excited for that one, and I still don't know if I want to split it up into between 2 videos or if it's a single one. So if you haven't seen that poll, fill that out on the community tab for me there to see what you guys think of what this next video should be. Should it be shorter, or should it be chopped up into 2 videos, or should it just be one so it can be a deep dive? But again, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel and supporting us here at the Glorious Geeks and tuning in. And until next time, be glorious.